Why is it that so many of us find ourselves caught in relationships where we constantly feel like we're being evaluated, tested, and somehow falling short? That nagging feeling in the back of your mind that says you're being measured against some invisible standard you never agreed to. Let's face it, we've all been there. That space where you're not quite sure if you're being paranoid or if she's actually throwing subtle challenges your way to see how you'll respond. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and it leaves you questioning your own worth. Today, I want to talk about something that many relationship experts dance around but rarely address directly: the reality of being tested in romantic relationships. Specifically, the 9 behaviors that indicate she's not just getting to know you, but actively testing your worth as a partner. This isn't about demonizing anyone or creating unnecessary suspicion. It's about understanding the psychological mechanisms at play so you can navigate these situations with confidence and authenticity rather than insecurity and doubt. You see, when someone tests your worth, they're often doing it unconsciously. It's rarely malicious. It's a protection mechanism, a way to evaluate if you're emotionally safe, consistent, and aligned with their values. But knowing the difference between natural relationship development and actual testing can save you months, even years, of emotional uncertainty. So let's break down these 9 behaviors, what they really mean, and most importantly, how to respond in a way that honors both your worth and the potential of the relationship. The first sign she's testing your worth is inconsistent communication. One day she's texting you constantly, sharing details about her day, sending you memes that made her laugh. The next, she's virtually disappeared, taking hours to respond with single-word answers, if she responds at all. This hot and cold pattern isn't random. It's designed to see how you react when she pulls away. Will you become anxious and start double texting? Will you get angry, or will you maintain your composure and continue with your life, understanding that her communication isn't a reflection of your value? When you encounter this behavior, take a deep breath. Remember that your worth isn't determined by someone else's attention. Maintain your own communication style without mirroring her inconsistency. This shows that you're secure in yourself regardless of her behavior. The second sign is the introduction of jealousy scenarios. She casually mentions male friends, talks about her ex, or points out someone who's interested in her. Maybe she even brings up how many dating options she has on her phone. This isn't necessarily meant to hurt you, though it often does. It's a test to see if you're confident enough to handle the reality that other men exist in her world. Will you display insecurity and jealousy, or will you show that you trust yourself enough to not be threatened? When this happens, acknowledge what she's saying without reacting emotionally. Your calm response demonstrates that you're secure enough to recognize that her value doesn't diminish your own. The third indicator is the sudden cancellation. You've made plans, perhaps even something special that you've mentioned looking forward to. Then, often last minute, she cancels. But here's the key. Watch closely for whether she offers an alternative plan or leaves things hanging. This test isn't about the cancellation itself. Life happens. It's about seeing if you'll still be there when things don't go as planned. Will you express disappointment while remaining understanding, or will you become passive-aggressive or overly accommodating? The healthiest response is honest but measured. Express that you are looking forward to seeing her, accept her reason without interrogation, and either suggest an alternative or leave the ball in her court. This shows that you value your time while respecting hers. The fourth sign is the introduction of values conflicts. She might suddenly bring up political differences, religious viewpoints, or lifestyle choices where she suspects you might disagree. This isn't mere conversation. It's a test of how you handle intellectual and values-based conflict. Will you automatically agree with her to avoid tension? Will you become defensive or dismissive of her views? Or will you engage thoughtfully, standing firm in your convictions while showing genuine curiosity about hers? The path of integrity here is to have the courage to express your authentic views while showing respect for hers, even in disagreement. This demonstrates that you're secure enough to handle complex differences without compromising your identity or dismissing hers. The fifth behavior involves watching how you treat others. She's paying close attention to how you interact with the server at dinner, how you talk about colleagues, how you respond to difficult people in public spaces. This test actually reveals something important. She's looking for consistency in character. Are you only kind and respectful to people who can offer you something, or is your character consistent regardless of what someone can do for you? The truth is, this is less of a test and more of a legitimate evaluation of character. Be mindful of how you treat everyone, not because you're being watched, but because it reflects who you truly are. The sixth sign is financial probing. She might suggest expensive dates, ask about your career ambitions, or make comments about financial stability. Some might call this gold digging, but that's an oversimplification of a complex dynamic. What she's often testing isn't your wealth, but your relationship with money. Are you financially responsible? Do you spend to impress others or within your means? Are you secure enough to be honest about your financial situation? Your response should reflect your authentic financial values. Neither pretending to be wealthier than you are, nor apologizing for your financial situation serves your integrity. Honest, confident communication about money demonstrates self-respect. The seventh indicator involves emotional triggers. She might bring up sensitive topics, push buttons from previous conversations, or even create situations that she knows might frustrate you. She's watching to see how you handle emotional pressure. This test is about emotional regulation. Can you remain centered when challenged? Can you communicate through difficult emotions without becoming reactive? Or do you shut down, lash out, or manipulate? When emotionally triggered, pause before responding. Recognize what's happening internally without immediately acting on it. Then express your feelings clearly without blame or defensiveness. This shows emotional intelligence and self-awareness. The eighth sign is observing your life priorities. She's paying attention to how you spend your time, what you prioritize, and whether your actions align with your stated values. Do you say family is important, but never make time for them? Do you claim to value health, but neglect basic self-care? This test is about integrity and authenticity. The consistency between what you say matters to you and how you actually live reveals your true character. There's no performance needed here. Simply ensure that your life reflects your actual priorities. And if it doesn't, have the courage to acknowledge the gap and work toward the greater alignment. This honesty demonstrates self-awareness and commitment to growth. The ninth and final behavior is the observation of how you handle her success. When she shares accomplishments, receives recognition, or simply excels in an area, she's watching your reaction closely. Do you minimize her achievements, compete with her, or do you show genuine happiness for her success? This test reveals your security in your own worth. Only someone who recognizes their own value can truly celebrate others without feeling diminished by comparison. When she succeeds, celebrate her genuinely. Ask questions, show interest, and express pride without making it about you. This demonstrates an abundance mindset that recognizes her shine doesn't dim your light. Now, let's talk about what all this means for you. If you've recognized several of these behaviors in your relationship, take a moment to reflect. This isn't necessarily cause for alarm or reason to end things. Instead, see it as an opportunity for growth and clarity. Ask yourself, are you responding to these tests from a place of security in your own worth or from insecurity and fear? Are you being authentic or performing based on what you think she wants to see? The irony of passing these tests is that you don't pass them by trying to pass them. You pass them by not seeing them as tests at all, but as opportunities to show up as your authentic self. Your worth isn't determined by whether someone else validates it. Your worth is inherent. It exists regardless of relationship status, regardless of whether someone is testing you, regardless of whether you pass or fail by someone else's metrics. The ultimate response to having your worth tested is to recognize that you don't need external validation to know your value. When you truly understand this, these tests lose their power over you. You respond authentically, not because you're trying to pass a test, but because you're committed to living with integrity. This doesn't mean you won't feel hurt, confused, or frustrated when these behaviors appear. Those feelings are natural. What matters is that you don't let those emotions drive reactive behavior that doesn't align with who you want to be. Remember that in many cases, these tests aren't conscious strategies.